shattered silence. A wind sweeps through an abandoned square, carrying dust, secrets, and the faint echo of a name, Lyra. Once, this city rang with bells, children's laughter, the rustle of demons fluttering in the sun. Now, it waits, breath held, heart stilled, as if mourning something, or someone, it can't quite name. A lone figure moves through misted alleyways, haunted by memories of a golden compass, a friend made of fur and soul, and a prophecy that never felt like hers. She walks beneath rotting rose vines, brittle petals falling like faded promises, whispering her companion's name into the wind. Pan. But no voice answers. It is a world losing faith, losing magic, losing something deeper, something like dust. In the deepest corners of this universe, scholars, prophets, and soldiers all ask the same question. If dust is the source of consciousness, truth, and meaning, then why is it dying? And why, of all people, does its fate rest in the heart of a girl who once lied her way through destiny? B. The central question, philosophical focus. What if the greatest mysteries of existence, the very soul of awareness, creativity, and love, were hidden not in palaces or temples, but in something as small as a grain of dust, or as fragile as a wilting rose? What if the truth wasn't found, but grown? And what if those who dared to seek it, paid a price greater than fear, greater than sacrifice, greater even than love? C. Emotional reintroduction of characters, without title. In a forgotten city, Lyra Silvertongue wanders, searching, not for glory, nor prophecy, but for the missing half of her soul. Not a demon, but a truth. Miles away, across burning deserts and windswept valleys, Malcolm Polstead follows another kind of search. He isn't seeking answers. He is seeking her. He carries a memory. A girl whose words once rewrote the stars. A girl whose lies became the truth. A girl whose fate might determine whether consciousness fades, or blooms. D. Book reveal transition. Softly, as though spoken from the pages themselves. Pullman's abilities are stupendous. The New York Times Magazine. This is where stories end. Where myths take their final breath. Where the dust settles, and the fate of Lyra Silvertongue is finally, irrevocably revealed. This is the Book of Dust, the Rose Field, the breathtaking conclusion to Philip Pullman's legendary trilogy. Part 3, Narrative Review Body. A. The Dual Odyssey, Malcolm and Lyra. Unlike traditional fantasy finales, Pullman doesn't end with war or prophecy. He ends with wandering, with a search for meaning. Lyra's journey is inward. It is about loss, disconnection, and the weight of carrying not just a prophecy, but regret. Her journey to the desert of Karamokan is not a quest for answers, but a pilgrimage of reconciliation, with herself, with Pan, and with what she once believed about dust. Karamokan is barren, vast, and unforgiving. But symbolically, it is the desert of lost faith. Where dust is fading, because belief is fading. Malcolm's journey is different. He isn't driven by destiny. He embodies something more deeply human, devotion. His story stands for the belief that faith need not be supernatural. Sometimes, it is simply the courage to choose love when the world chooses fear. In many ways, Malcolm is the answer to Lyra's question. If dust is meaning, connection, and consciousness, Malcolm is proof it still exists. B. The symbolism of the rose, why roses matter. Roses, in Pullman's world, are not just flowers. They are living repositories of dust. Their petals resonate with consciousness, with memory, with the unseen truths of the universe. They are fragile, yes, but also resilient. They bend with the wind, but do not break. They wilt, but bloom again. The rose field represents the fragility of truth, the persistence of wonder, the interconnected nature of life, mind, and matter. Roses echo the theme of his dark materials, that consciousness is not given, but grown. Just as dust is attracted to awareness, roses thrive where there is care, longing, and belief. In the end, the roses do not reveal a secret. They teach a lesson. Dust is not something to be discovered. It is something to be protected. See, the converging forces, a world on the edge. As Lyra and Malcolm reach their symbolic destinies, converging forces gather around them. The magisterium, still clinging to control, now more desperate than ever. The men from the mountains, the chilling new threat, cold, emotionless, unbound by the moral codes of any world. The witches, ancient guardians of dust, who warn that this isn't just a war for power, it's a war for meaning itself. The men from the mountains are terrifying not because of violence, but because they act without wonder, without curiosity, without belief. They are everything dust stands against. They are conscious without consciousness. Living, but not alive. Pullman uses them as a warning. When a society stops asking questions, stops dreaming, stops doubting, dust begins to die. The philosophical climax, the soul of the story. Pullman is using the language of fantasy to illuminate our world. And to explore the deepest questions of what it means to be alive and awake. So what is the ultimate message of the Book of Dust? It is Pullman's final meditation on free will versus fate. Lyra was never chosen. She just chose differently. Authority versus understanding. Dust does not need worship. It needs curiosity. Belief versus blind faith. To believe in dust is not to obey, it is to question. Dust is not magic. It has meaning. It is not proof of the divine, it is proof of the human. Consciousness needs wonder. Just as roses need light. Part 4, Conclusion. A final verdict/feeling. In the end, the Book of Dust, the rose field is not a triumphant finale. It is a haunting farewell. A story of endings, quiet, uncertain, beautifully human. It is a masterpiece not because of its scale, but because of its intimacy. It doesn't shout. It whispers. And sometimes, whispers last longer. B. Recommendations. If you haven't already, go back to where it all began. 1. La Belle Sauvage. 2. The Secret Commonwealth. 3. The Rose Field. Then return to his dark materials. You will read them differently this time. What is your favorite Philip Pullman novel? Do you believe dust is something magical, or something deeply human? Let me know in the comments below. And if you loved this review, and want more epic, storytelling-style book explorations, subscribe, hit like, and join me. Where stories are not just told, but I felt.